Welcome, everyone. It is Wednesday, March the 26th. We're going to give everyone a couple minutes to trickle in here, and we will get started with some live demonstrations on how to trade um, ES futures with Topstep. So if you guys have, spoke about on Sunday how to get your account set up with Topstep or whatever prop firm you guys are using to learn here. So let's give everyone a couple minutes and then I'll share my screen and we can get started. Let's see. All right. Give me 1 second here, just getting all these things loaded. How's everyone doing today? All right, let's look at our practice account. Okay, so there are a couple things that we are going to be learning about as far as with trading ES. So we want to learn about our contract specifications, contract trading codes, also the expiration and settlement process. We'll learn about tick movements and a bunch of other things. Today, I'm just setting up our practice account. Even if you are trading in a live challenge, or in a live account, we definitely want to make sure that our first trades are at least in our demo accounts. It helps us to just test out the market. So let's see here. You guys drop the link in the chat. Let's see. I think people are asking where to go. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let's get this link sent out to our folks. Okay, perfect. They're still trying to go on Zoom. I'm like, nope, I can't even do that process anymore. That was just too much. Alrighty, so let's give them a couple minutes to trickle in. I am going to share my screen. Let's see. Let's go ahead and trade. Okay. Alrighty, so while everyone is getting over here today, let me take a look here and see exactly what do we have news-wise. Let me take a look. Okay, so today, you guys know I love the 5 things we need to know by Bloomberg. And so let's see. First thing, global stocks slipped as investors awaited more clarity on U.S. tariff plans and the economic outlook before President Donald Trump's April 2nd deadline to impose a fresh set of trade levies. So you guys know with futures, these are contracts for like underlying assets. The quantity of the asset, the delivery location, and the delivery date, all that stuff, that's determined by the exchange. So right now we are in the March contract that's notated by an H here. And let's look at our different symbol searches. So we can be trading the micro SP, meaning every tick point, which the ticks here in ES are 25 cents. So remember in Forex, that movement was oh, 1 second. Those movements, we call those pips. That was the type of, price fluctuations. But here, those price fluctuations in the futures markets, those are called ticks. So we can do micro ES. We're just going to be focused on trading ES, which you guys will know as SPX 500. So right now, we're going to look for our mini and our micro contract because the ES, we've had a lot of just a lot of stuff going on. I was just reading over our stocks while we were getting set up here, just putting in a pending order so we can wait for this break. And we're kind of going over some of our fundamental analysis here and going over how we search for our symbols. So, kind of like in future, I mean in Forex, because I know we're getting all transitioned over. So I'm trying to help to make some comparisons and some switches so that because I know some of the lingo has changed, even though our strategy has not. So I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. Here we're going to work on passing our 150K practice account. I'm not going to be live trading in my personal account. I'm not that bold on live. I'm not that bold. That's going to give me the jitters. But we're going to go over how we can pass our 150K challenge in 1 month. So we'll go over our trading plans, give everyone a couple more minutes here. I know we have some news coming. Well, do we have news today? Let me take a look. Let's search here. Let me put up some screens. Give me one moment. So some of the things that we definitely want to have up while we are trading is Bookmap. If you don't have your subscription, there are a bunch of amazing channels on YouTube that definitely help to give us a look into our Bookmap, which is a visual representation of orders coming in the markets. There's a little bit of a lag, but again, for our demonstrations, we're just going to be practicing in our demos. I recommend always practicing in our demos. Before we go into a live account, we want to practice our strategy, especially being new. Okay, so let's check the news. So usually you guys will be going to Forex Factory. Let me share my screen again. Here we go. So usually we'll be going into Forex Factory, but remember, in futures, we are actually, in Forex, we're speculating on future price action. So the Forex market doesn't actually consist of, us buying actual contracts or that pair or, any of that money. But here in the futures market, we are buying and selling those contracts in a future date. So we're going to have a little bit this information here. And even though we're dealing with this news is in, dealing with the US market sometimes and telling us, what kind of high impact data releases are being sent out that day, we're going to switch over in futures to Econo Day. And we'll be taking a look at their calendar to help us to determine if we have any high impact news. It's really helpful. You can kind of click on any data release here, and it definitely gives the report, the definition, why we care, and then also the upcoming release schedule. So that's going to be very important when we are taking a look at any type of data release that really affects our pair, like the Michigan sentiment, things like that. We want to make sure that we have those days notated so that we can make sure we have our trades protected. Okay, so today looks like look like too much is coming out today. Remember, we have our lovely President Trump always speaking, tweeting throughout the day. So always when you're trading, you never know. Something comes out, someone says something. So always keep the Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, whatever you're using as like kind of a live news source there while you're trading so that you are up to date. You can hear when any headlines come out, any statements are made, and anything of that sort. Jared says, good morning. What platform do you use to trade on? So we went over, you guys, take a look at our last Sunday's or last Wednesday night's recording where we kind of went over some live brokers such as Tradeovate, Trade Ninja. But right now we're going to be using during my sessions anyways, Topstep, and we are using their platform. So Topstep X. So that's our broker and our platform. And, I've used Topstep. You can use whatever platform that you want. It gives you the option. I just know I've tried Tradeovate and I would just like to say that Topstep X, this platform is really user friendly. You have a lot of bunch more features that you can use, such as in their settings. So we can go ahead and put on risk parameters. We can set lockouts. You can, like for instance, let's go ahead and set that up today. So we are going to be risking on every trade a max of $150, looking to profit $250. Yes, Jerry. Yeah, so we can all learn together. I mean, you definitely do your due diligence, not gatekeeping. There are other platforms. I am, of course, biased to Topstep because I've started trading futures in September of 2024. I got my live account. I was on the VIP program, did some coaching with a bunch of their educators there. So I am a little biased, but I still put out the information. But I think that for $50 a month, if you get a trading combine and to practice in your 150K practice account or whatever level that you want to do, that for me, anyways, is worth the education. But we're gonna learn together. Alrighty, so you can set up any kind. You can set up a bunch of different risk parameters, and things like that. Your daily profit goals, your stop loss goals. I don't believe you can do that here in the practice account, but definitely able to do that there in our live account. So that's really cool. You can definitely, and we have this lockout setting, which they just released a few months ago, which allows you, we all know that we can get very emotional when we're trading. So you can actually lock yourself out. If you're like, you know what, I don't need to be taking any more trades today. I don't even want to risk it. Even going into my practice account, if you need that extra layer of protection, you can lock out for the whole day. You can lock out for 15 minutes. If you know that you struggle with not taking trains. Hey, Maureen. Taking trades, not trains, trades during, say, like the New York Open, you can lock yourself out for like 30 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever your time frame is, so that you're forcing yourself to sit on your hands there. Okay, so bracket orders, we're going to be looking at, using pending orders to set our trades. We're going to be using the same exact strategy with the pivotal zones, our RSI here. We have a VWAP, which is a new indicator, weighted average here. And we will learn about that. Has anyone had a chance to play around with their demo account with Topstep? Let's see how many people might need a brief little tutorial before we get started. Okay, I'm just gonna take a look at our charts here, see exactly what's going on so we can set up our trades for the day. Because this is integrated with TradingView, so that's very helpful. What's that doing? Alrighty, here we go. I still have my TradingView subscription though, because I do like the live, and I have that with live market data. And I also We'll go over that as well. I know we were going over kind of our news for the day, our fundamental analysis news, but you guys, let's hop on the charts. Our new time frame, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Help us to get into the charts before the New York Open, kind of set our bias for the day and our trades up before all the madness. So throughout the weeks, we're going to be learning. There's a lot to learn. I'm not going to, sugarcoat that, but it's going to be easy transitioning over from Forex. Things are going to make sense. There's a lot of transparency, a lot more transparency in this world. It's going to be easier, in my opinion, to trust your analysis when you do have the knowledge of your market data. So your volume, how many orders are coming in at certain price levels. So like for instance, right here, at this high is 58.30. We can go right over here to our DOM, our depth of the market tool, and kind of see that, okay, up here at in this 58.30 price point, there were a lot of orders here. So, while we were taking our buy up all the way up here, and we can see after 58.32, the orders start to decrease. So yes, we could look at our pivotal zones. We could look at our EMAs and those crosses and the smaller time frames. But now when you actually have orders here telling us that, I don't know if it's going to keep buying right there, it's a little bit of a decrease. Putting that information in conjunction with your knowledge there of support and resistance and market structure, it's really going to take a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot, but you're going to feel more confident and less like you're guessing. Alrighty, so our sell was activated. We're just in one mini contract. So look at right here what that means. So the price fluctuation with ES is 25 cents. What does that mean? So for instance, in Forex, $1 movement was equivalent that SPX moved, you gained or lost $1 if you were in a 0.01 lot size, right? But here, the price fluctuations are in 25 cents increments, and we are in a micro. In your mini contracts, which are kind of like your standard contracts, every price fluctuation is $12.50. In our micros, every price fluctuation, every 25 cents move is $1.25. Every dollar point is $5. So every dollar that ES moves here, you gain $5 or lose $5. We are in our micros. The market is moving really volatile. So we want to decrease our risk. And so we're going into smaller contracts. It is a little bit challenging. It does take some time, but let's look at what are some ways that we can pass our challenge. Well, first, remember that we had our risk parameters set up. We're only risking $150 and we're attempting to profit $250. This is just with one micro. Of course, going in with one micro, is going to take some time. I kind of cut it in half and do 5 micros. So, $25 per every price point. That way, the market only needs to move. The market moves 10 points. ES is going to give us 10 points all the time. Look here at 3:30. This baby moved 25 points. And then, here again, we had this major move and then this move here. So 10 points. We're just trying to get 10 points out of the market. Our goal, our daily goal is to at least make $350 a day. Keeping it small. Everyone wants to trade as if they are trading with an account that has a drawdown or you have 150K like worth of leverage. But I want you guys to unthink that. I want you guys to think about your account as far as in placing your trades and your contract size, and as far as your drawdown. So don't think about it as if you have 150K worth of wiggle room here. Remember that you can only lose in your 150K practice account a certain amount. So that drawdown should really, you want to be able to keep this account for as long as you can, so we can't risk as much. So I know we see people going in full contract sizes, making thousands of dollars per day, and I've done it. You can do it, but while you're learning and while the market is as volatile as it is right now, start slow. Every trade that you enter, even if you are in your combine, which is an active challenge account with Topstep, I always take my first trade in demo. I want to test out the waters. I want to make sure that, the market is going in my favor. I have the momentum on my side. And then I can increase my position. So I like to go into every trade when I'm in here in the micro account with ES to 5 contracts, 5 mini contracts, like I said, so that every point that's moving is I'm gaining $25. So I'm going to show you guys how it's a little bit different, how to add on to your position. So in Forex, if we entered a buy at this price point for a 0.01 lot size, and we wanted to add on another position here at, say, on this candle, we would have 2 positions open, one at this price point, one at that price point. In futures, it is a little bit different. You cannot hedge your orders. So let's see here. I'm going to add 5 positions, and additional 4 contracts, mini contracts, when price comes below this point. And then I will be in this particular trade for 5 contracts. Anyways, we're going to let that play out. So some of rules within your order parameters that's different here in futures compared to Forex. So like I was saying, you would have 2 orders here. You will see once this order is activated, this is just going to become 1 order. You're just going to have 1 position for 5 contracts open. When we come down here and we look into our positions or our trades, we're just going to see 1 trade. It says -1 because we're in a sell. But then once price comes down here to 58.21.75 and picks up my order here, we're now going to see where we have 1 position, and that would say -5. So that's another thing, very organized. You're not going to have a bunch of 1 order here at this price, 1 order here at that price, or if you're adding on to your position. Another thing, we cannot hedge here. If you are in a sell, you are in a sell. You can't also be in a buy on the same asset. So that's also something that's different between Forex and futures. What am I saying? Alrighty, resistance, support, and resistance. We're on the 15-minute time frame. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into, so we are in this sell. I'm not going to take it all the way down to 57.74, of course. I just wanted you guys to see how trades, especially when you have pending orders set up, and I always recommend pending orders. This market can move so fast and knock you into a trade. And we saw, was it yesterday? In the 30-second chart, within 30 seconds, I was in a trade. The market moved 20 points and then came back down to my entry. Knocked me in another trade. So I was in, but it just happened this quick. Ended up being in profit. Another one of my orders, got scooped up. So I was in good profit. But if I was on the wrong side of the market, I would have been locked out of my account. I would have hit my max loss because in seconds. And that's really something that in the past, we haven't really seen that with SPX. It's been moving, that was always a pair that everyone was like, no, I'd rather trade US 30. I'd rather trade NASDAQ because SPX moves too slow. Well, not lately. Let's see. Let me read the chat already. Oh, yeah, Ty. This is always going to be on our YouTube channel. It's always recorded there for you guys to look. You don't have to wait, Miss Kelly. You don't have to wait for me to upload anything. As soon as we get off this live, I think it takes a couple minutes, but it's automatic. You were on it though. You guys, y'all better thank Kelly because she was the one who was always like, Fatima, can you post the Zoom recording? Fatima, post the Zoom recording. We need to see. And she would be on my tail about that. So thank her, because after I got off those calls and I did something else, my day just went right over my head. Oh no. 1 second. Okay, where are my drafts? Oh, whew, here we go. Okay. All right, so we are in profit now. One contract, one micro contract. And we see that once price comes below this area, we are going to be in this trade. And I want you guys to take a look at how the depth of the market is going to change and how different it's going to update, our profit and loss here. Now that we will be in a trade for 5 points and for 5 mini contracts, micro contracts. Jared says he's in class with Micah as well. What made you switch from futures versus Forex? So I switched over in September. I actually heard about futures first before I heard about Forex. And so, but I didn't know about like prop firms or anything like that. And so in order to trade futures, you definitely need a lot more capital than Forex. That's what made Forex so appealing to everyone, because although I did have, 10K, 20K to put into, to invest, I didn't have that to risk. So there's difference there. So I didn't want to, risk that at that time. Still wouldn't risk it now either. So I went to Forex. And so it was easier entry, back in the day, you could trade SPX, with 500. It was a lot, it wasn't as expensive as it is, or the price wasn't as it is today. So you could get in and trade SPX, even NAS, 4 or 5 years ago with $1,000, $3,000, $5,000 account. Whereas, with a couple lot sizes with extra trades, like it gave us a lot of margin in the Forex market, which is why it was so appealing to everyone. But now that, I'm really serious in my trading, studying for my Series 3, touching, and networking with traders who, have been on the trading floor back in the day, who, trade options and things like that. And this futures is just a lot more transparent. Again, in Forex, we were speculating on price movement. Every broker set their own prices, the spread. It was kind of just like the wild, wild west, as opposed to you can go and look at the contract specifications for each product that you want to trade. If you want to trade oil, if you want to trade soybeans, whatever it is. And it's specific. They give you all the time frames. When is this expiration? It's just so much clearer for me. And being able to see, for instance, now this is live bookmap. Like I said, if you have a bookmap subscription, right now we're still learning. You can, that's better because the information is live. There's no lag there. But you can see something like this. You can see where there were orders placed. So this is a visual representation of orders in the market. So the bigger these circles, they tell you like the volume at that price point. So that also takes some time. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's see if you guys can see that now. Alrighty, and then you have like there's a heat map built into there. Of course, when you have your own live, your own subscription, you will have to, put all these different and just, set it up a little differently. It's not going to look exactly like this off the gate, but this is just it. And shout out, y'all come over here to live bookmap. They have gold, they have NQ, which is NASDAQ, they have US 30. So show some love like that, support them, because bookmap is not the cheapest subscription. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of what made me switch over. I heard one of my students, actually, I was asking about futures again because it came back up years later. And I was like, do I really want to, take that big plunge? And then they told me about, a couple different prop firms. Crazy. Some of the ones that I was looking into at that time. Again, this was just September. It's March 2025. So September 2024. And I was looking into they're not even around anymore. Like when I was doing the research for class, last week, I was like, oh yeah, whatever happened to that other prop firm I was looking at? So that's why, and I went with Topstep. I knew people who, had withdrawals with them because, we can hear all day, oh yeah, do this, I made that. Did you withdraw that money? Did some money come into your account? How was that process? So, the minimum that you can start when you go live, it all depends on your asset and it all depends on the broker. Trade Ninja, they do allow you to have to take out micro contracts, and they tell you exactly. So your minimum is really going to depend on your broker, but you definitely want to have way more than the minimum. So look at having at least an account with about 5 to 10K if you want to trade these big indices. If you're trading NASDAQ and US 30, that's even there. You're going to have, and I mean, and so when I say the minimum, you can just have a minimum just in order to take out one trade. You will be like really tight in your stop loss. You might have, margin. I'm talking about the minimum suggestion. Is this just a suggestion in order to have, some cushion in your account so that you're able to take out maybe 1 or 2 micro contracts. So it all just depends on your broker. Okay, so let's take a look. What time is it? It is 8:40. Let's go ahead. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up our trading view. here we go. So for our trading view, if you, as you can see, like with Topstep, they have live market data. They have indicators. They have a bunch of different features and things that you can use on their actual charts. They even go down to the 30-second time frame. Indicators, they have a couple different indicators here as well that you can use. So I know a lot of people, well, not a lot, because that relative to how many people I know that trade futures and that trade in particular Topstep, use Topstep X. They have scrapped their trading view subscription. However, for me, I look at different pairs. I look at different, at the same time, I have different indicators that aren't available through Topstep X. So I still have my TradingView subscription. Now, when you're trading futures, so look, all right, let's go back to ES. Well, first before I do that, I do like to take a look at having the the Dow US 30. So in futures, that's YM. I do like to have that up, and I like to have up gold as well, kind of side by side on the 15-minute, just so that I can see sometimes they have a correlation. Sometimes they're inverted. So I do like to take a look, especially YM and SPX. We know that sometimes one is the leader, one is the follower. So it helps to give a good heads up. So I do like to keep that information on my chart. Let's see here. Let's kind of, okay. Let's clean up our charts here. Okay, so for instance, as you can see, because this is traded by a centralized broker, when you're trading ES and you're looking for ES here in TradingView, when you're looking for your pairs and you're doing your symbol search, come right over here to futures. And you'll see all the futures are all by the CME or YMX, which is the New York Mercantile Exchange. You have the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And these are the only pairs that you have up. One, remember like with other, when we were trading Forex, what broker are you using? What you have to make sure you are aligned with the broker on the trading, on the charting software platform, and you had to get it as close to price. Now all of them are just very standard here, and we can see that the prices differ. So right now in futures, SPX E-mini futures is trading at 5,827. However, if we looked at with Oanda, which is our U.S. Regulated broker, or Forex.com, or any of those U.S. regulated brokers, we can see that for Oanda, SPX is trading at 5,785.6. Remember, it is also paired against the US dollar, which also creates a whole different level of trading that we need as well. Give me 1 second. Okay. So in order to get these price actions, to get this type of price action in your futures trading, we do need live market data. So that is an extra $7 a month. If you do use TradingView, it's worth it for me anyways, because just tools of the trade. So you guys look to see what works best for you. Okay, any questions before we move forward? We're going to look into adding on to our position. You see that we did not get wicked into this trade for these additional 4 contracts here. So that's good. And we have the New York Open coming up. It's 9:45. So ask away. We see that our bubbles here are letting us know that we had some buying, a lot of buyers in, a lot of buying volume. Come down here also, you guys have to do some research. I am going to make another video that's going to go into, it's not going to be a live, so it's going to be a lot more structured, where we can just, take 30 minutes and I'll just do a quick little recap of everything, just a like just a quick overview of the futures market, ES in particular, Bookmap, how to set up our charts on Topstep. So I'll probably do that this weekend. So don't feel lost or anything like that. And if you come down here, if you are using Live Bookmap or learning to use it, if you come down here, it tells you exactly what everything is on the chart. What does it all mean? And how, once you get your own subscription, they have the subscriptions here. You can use their link. You can use their special offer. We're going to show them some love because I definitely use them. I would join Bookmap and I was like, what? I didn't know where to begin. So I do like that this is kind of like my training wheels. So, alrighty. And as you can see here, the volume dots represent the traded volume per time at a specific price. The bigger the dot, the larger the volume is. Volume bars represent the volume traded in a given time frame. So you go through everything, you see your volume bars here, you see your volume dots, you see your heat map where you can see where there are a lot of orders up here at this price range. They come over here. You can see what price, how many orders are at the bid, how many orders are at the ask. You can look here to see the volume at certain price points. So it's good for those of us who are really visual, want to see, but also because we're already looking at numbers here. Sometimes you just want to just look back and just, okay, boom, there's a lot of orders. I know that. I don't have to analyze any data. I can see that visually really clear, because a lot of times when we're trading, we're analyzing so much data, our brains can just go on overload. It could just be too much. So sometimes you just need that quick smack on the butt, or hand, or head, or I don't know. I'd rather get smacked on my butt than my head. So I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so let's take a look at our trades here. I'm going to move over our gold. This is on the 15-minute time frame. So Bookmap, because we can go through and look at it. It is kind of like a subscription. It's like a trading view. It is a subscription, and it kind of gives like the delta. There's a bunch of different things. So like I said, it's a visual representation of orders in the market. So you have your liquidity heat map, you have volume bubbles. You can take a look at the order book. So again, just visual order book. You can see the best bid and offer. So sometimes it is, now that we are incorporating orders and order flow into our trading, it's very helpful. We didn't have that in Forex. So yeah, you get it on, you sign up through a website. Yes, Jarrett. But then there's an app. You can just not an app, but it's an actual software program that you can use as well. Same thing like TradingView. You can download it onto your website. So onto your computer, your laptop, whatever, so that you can actually have it as like a software and it's not a website. So that's an option as well. Okay. Yep, and it links in with Tradeovate, Ninja Trader. That's about the ones I know here. But and you do have a digital free one. It's delayed though. And it was too much for me to get to start at that time to get it all set up. So I'm getting it all set up. This kind of reminds me of like Thinkorswim when I first set up Thinkorswim before I even knew how to read a chart. And I was just going through setting up my Thinkorswim charts and my mind almost exploded because I was like, what? So just take it with, I don't want you guys to get too overwhelmed. I know a couple people were asking about Bookmap or asking about the DOM, the depth of market. So I just wanted to, and again, we're going to be going over this every single week. We did it last year, every Wednesday. We had class, free class. Everyone was welcome. And we went over market structure. We went over our risk management parameters, all that great stuff. Okay. So we are in this cell right now. I didn't look at our charts yet. I was just putting an order in just so that, again, we're in our demo, just so that we could practice putting in orders, how to adjust it, how to add on additional orders. Now let's look at the charts so we can actually have a high probability trade take off here. Okay, so let's move over our charts. Let me kind of like this Sonar Lab. Okay, these are just our order blocks. This is just, someone was going over something with one of my students. And so Sonar Lab, this is another indicator that just shows where support is for the buys, and then the sells here, which, we use that with our pivots. It's just, again, another visual tool, help keep us focused in the market. Okay, so let's move these bad boys over to the side, and let's take a look here at our chart. These lines here, I just have it broken up into, these lines represent the sessions there. Okay. Alrighty, you guys, how are we doing? Any questions? Let me take a look at my notes just to make sure I covered everything that I wanted us to go over today. All right, we went over the expiration. Did we go over the calendar expirations? All right, we'll go over that next class. Okay. Alrighty, so we're seeing that the Dow has reached an R8 level of resistance here. We see that this 15-minute candle is a nice red candle. It is, we are oversold, shooting down. So we'll see, this is the 15-minute. We'll see if SPX is following suit. All right, so price came up here to the R7, shot all the way back down to the R2. Once it got down here to the R2, has been buying here. So we kind of have a box, kind of a range, if you will. These levels are the highs, okay? And this is the low. So we want to see if price is going to break out above this resistance level here. Oh, I'm on NAS. Who's trading NAS? Y'all know I don't like NAS. But I mean, same, thank you, Maureen, but same thing if you were trading NAS. We have our support here. Came up here to this R level. We're waiting for it to break out of this box to give us a good signal for this buy and see if it then would come back to, where's my pointer? See if it will then come back to this high point, which is our R7, and then, see if it's just continuing to just play this range here. If we're going to get a breakout of any point. We do see this was the low. This was a high. This was a higher low. we had these higher highs here. This is a higher low. It did not break below this low here. So, you know, we're still in this uptrend. Price is just constantly making higher highs. But right now, price isn't it's constantly making higher highs and higher lows until price came within this box here. Now it's no longer making lower lows or higher highs, just ranging here. So we would wait to see, you know, give us a good indication of what price wants to do once it breaks out of this range. We would know, you know, once it breaks this area, and look at the higher time frames and the hourly time frames to give us that confirmation to see if price is going to continue up to the next price point and make a higher high. So go ahead and label that out. I know I'm on NAS, but since I was here, might as well. So you want to label these things and just make sure it's just going to be really simple, just highs and low. Oh. Hello. So that you know once price breaks that high that you are now, the market has now made a higher high. And of course, if you want to come down here, bring this over and notate your low so that when the market makes these, you know, breaks these points on, you know, while you're trading, sometimes this is the 15-minute time frame. Sometimes we are sucked into the 5-minute, 3-minute time frame scalping, and we don't even realize what is going on. So right now, NAS is in consolidation mode, ranging mode, whatever you want to call it. I want to kind of okay. NAS traders, there you go. Might as well come over here to US 30, huh? Huh, Kelly? I know that's your baby. But no, that's kind of what we would be looking at for NAS. Thank you, Maureen, for keeping me on track. I don't know what I would do without y'all. As y'all can see, I'm always all over the place. You guys are like, Fatima, hold on. So let's do this one together. All right, I'm going to need you guys to use the chats here. I'm going to remove all of my drawings here on US 30. Let's go ahead and analyze our pair. Look at your charts, and I want you guys to notate the highs and lows just right here in this kind of, we're going to take, you know, the information, the data from Monday all the way until Wednesday. Let's mark up our charts. So let's do the easiest ones first. This is kind of what a double top, right? Kind of price came up here to this area, which is also our R7. And we have resistance here. When price comes here, we know that typically the market's going to want to sell. We'll see. And if it doesn't, if it breaks above that, then we are making higher highs and continuing on our buy trend. So these are just, when we mark up our charts, these are just levels that have been really significant in the past. And we want to make sure that when the market comes back to these levels, that we understand what can go on. We could have, you know, the market do what it's done in the past, meaning sell here and using this price level 58.35 as resistance. It did it again in the past. Or the buyers can take over, you know, after there is like repeated movement at a certain price point. Typically that can get broken. But we don't know how many times. Sometimes the price can tap at a certain level 3 times before breaking through. So we just want to make sure that when we are trading, we have these levels so that we know, hey, the market could, this is a major zone here. The market could do A or the market could do B. If the market does A, I'm doing blah, blah, blah. If the market does B, then I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. We're not going to wait for the market to get to these points and then try to, oh, well, what's going on? No, we're going to already take a look at the charts, make sure we have a structured plan. We already know, like, our risk management. We already know how much we're risking. We already have our goal for the day. We already know what pair we're trading. We've already looked at the markets to see if we have any high impact news. We have Bloomberg in the back. Like, we're just checking off all of our checklists so that we can prepare to trade. We can be prepared to trade for an hour or two. Okay, so let's look at this. We had a low, this high, higher low, and then we had resistance here. We see that the market, hey Cornelia, we see that the market, it did go above. There was this huge wick, but remember, we're on the 15-minute time frame. So that's why I like for us to mark out these areas before, because if we were in the market, you know, when the market was down, we were in the market down here, and we had marked up, okay, this was resistance. When the market came up to this area, we wouldn't have been on the lower time frame still thinking that, you know, we were riding this wave and the market's, you know, buying, because we would have had our lines here letting us know this was an area of resistance in the past. Don't get too happy. Secure your trades. We're going to be selling pretty soon. And what did it do? It came back down here. It did make a higher low. Finally, you know, it tried multiple times to make a higher high. It was unable to do so. But then eventually on Tuesday at 6:45, it broke above this level, made a higher high, came back down here, made a higher low than these lows in the past. So we're still in that buy trend. We hit some resistance. This was our low here, still making higher lows. So similar to what NAS was doing, we're going to, you know, come into a little range, box up our range here, and just see what price does once it reaches either of these two extreme levels to make a bigger move. Is everyone following me? Is this screen blurry? Ty says that her screen is just a little blurry here. Is that me? Should I restart? It looks clear as day to me. Hold on, let me show you guys something. Jared can see? Okay, perfect. Okay, look at Ty, look at, I'm about to send it to you. I'm about to show in Telegram. This is how it looks on my end in Telegram. Is it not looking like that? Look in the Telegram chat. Let's see. Better. Okay. Jared says, try going into full screen mode. You guys let me know how these lives are, you know, if we have to go back to Zoom, we can. Just know that it was just easier management wise. And then you can always go back and look at the lives, and then they're there forever. I don't have to worry about storage. I don't have to worry about uploads and none of that stuff. Even like our session that we did, you know, last week, you guys can still take a look. Cornelia says having it full screen helps. What about now, Ty? Okay. She's probably with one of her patients. But yes, hopefully it should be in the recording, because the recording is going off of my my end, and it looks pretty clear on my end. So fingers crossed. If not, we do this every week. We do it every week, and we will do it again next week. Okay, so you guys did you guys on your charts place your support and resistance? Remember, I'm trying to set you guys up for the week and for the rest of the day so that even though you don't have my own charts, you know exactly what to do. Okay, so we have our resistance, we have our latest level of support. Alrighty, so we're on the 15-minute time frame. We are oversold. We're in our oversold region. We are not yet crossing down just yet. We want to kind of wait to see to get that confirmation, but we are definitely in that area. So we kind of had a similar box, similar to NAS. Here was kind of our highs here. We had this low. Price broke out of this box. We're going to see if that was just a wick. And if we need to, because remember, those we want to get just price breaking out of those ranges, or these boxes as I'm calling them. That's not enough for confirmation. We want to make sure that there's a break in candle close above that, above or below that area. Right now, this is just, those wicks. This is just buyers trying to push price a little higher. And even though we do have this cross here, we need that confirmation because we are oversold. So we don't want to get tricked in a trade. We can take our fibs and, take from this low level to this high. And we see that the 50-61.8 level is here. This is a level that the market likes to come back to when it's retracing. So we can go ahead and mark out this level with our fib box to see if price does what? If it comes back down to this level. So it broke out of this box. Let's see if it pulls back to this 50-61.8 level and then continues on to buy with the trend, because the overall trend is still a buy trend. Of course, New York Open is happening. So what happens at the New York Open? Orders. There's just, let's look at it. There's just going to be orders. As we see, we have a lot of orders here at the 58.38 price point, a lot of heat maps also here at the bottom as well. So what does the New York Open typically do? It comes, touches, grabs all these pending orders, buy stop, sell stop, stop loss. And then it comes back down here, grabs all these orders as well, and then presumes in the direction, the overall direction of the market. Look, we had this buy, we had all these orders coming in for the buy. Now, that was also a level of resistance. As we can see, that price point was also, buyers were unable to take price above that point. Now we see sells coming in, and this bubble is getting pretty big and it's shooting straight down. So now we're having, a lot of selling momentum. We're not just relying on our candlestick patterns. I can also look here and see corresponding, just looking at the order book. So what is it doing? It's just going back and forth. We are still in this trade. We have kind of our trade for the sell. We kind of have our stop loss just above this resistance level, above this wick here. We are $32 in pullback here. We're waiting to see what the market does. If it knocks us out of our trade, again, we're in demo. We're practicing our strategy. Well, this trade, again, this was just a practice. I was just throwing something on, but in your demos, you're practicing your strategy as well as your risk parameters, because we could have did something like this and came into ES for the full, lot size, and then try to just get into any type of trade. Just coming in here. What about just a market sell? I'm just coming in here and market sell.
Order filled.
Or did I put market buy here? See? Not thinking about it and just putting any type of trade in, risking $150. No, we just went in with one micro, tested out the waters first. We weren't all willy-nilly. So just try to incorporate that into your trading plan. Just making sure that you go into your trade, if you are in your live accounts, just putting it out a test trade, not risking your full amount, not coming in here to the mini ES, which is again, every dollar point, $50. So, when you have to risk at least 5 to 6 points, 10 points now in this market with ES, can you risk that? Remember, you only have a certain amount that until your drawdown. So remember, don't think about your accounts as, oh, it's 150K. No, I have 6K, 3K, 2K, whatever the amount is, your max loss. Trade your account according to your max loss, and that will help you to, get into good trades. All right, I'm gonna let it play out. But look, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Now in your positions, it shows we have one sell for the mini, and we are in one buy in our micro. Sorry, in our mini, and we are in one sell in our micro. It tells us our risk. You can also edit your risk or anything, your take profit directly from your position tab down here. It tells you exactly what the profit and loss is. You can drag and drop. If price comes back below this wick, I definitely want to be out $75. Again, we're in the same exact asset, but mini and micros. Again, these aren't trades. These aren't trade ideas. Never trade ideas, anyways. But I'm just showing you guys how you can be in. I meant to get into that sell, but you could just click it. But it was an explanation or an example of how just doing things all willy-nilly without paying attention. And that was I think the perfect example. Because I went in there trying to put a sell. I was in for a buy. I've done that before in real life. Moving too fast. All right, let's get back into our micro. Okay, so it's pulled back, hasn't hit the stop loss. In fact, I want to come down here and even more reduce our risk and get into an actual legit trading idea instead of us being here. Actually, let's just close these out. -30 on one.
Order filled. Order filled.
Okay, come right here to your trades. You can see exactly the damage that was done today. So, and then up here as well, total profit and loss, -$47.29. All right, so now let's analyze the markets for real. Let's go ahead and get into some high probability trades. So close to the New York Open, really, really risky, but we'll see. Price has not been able to break above this area. So if we were getting into a sell, right now would be the time to get into a sell down to 58.28. Let's look at our lower time frames to help us determine. Let me get rid of some of this color here. We have enough. Okay, so this was our box. Actually, okay. So now once we see price break below this level, we are at the ultimate extremes. We've come down. Now that we kind of have an idea of where the market might come down to or where the market might go, which is this 50.61.8 level, we can place a position on. So I always first of all, wouldn't enter this trade until price breaks below this level. And I'm going to set my stop loss a little bit above this area. So, Don't want to get wicked into this trade. I want to wait until it breaks below, has a candle close below, and then I would be taking this down to 58.22. Some people, this is TP1. It may even hit TP2. We are oversold. But then, of course, if price makes a higher high and goes above this high, makes a new higher high, our fib is no longer valid. Does everyone understand why I would be looking at something like this? If it were coming in here for this sell, I want to see a break below this level, kind of below these wicks to get into this sell down here to the 50.61.8 level. Why I am looking for a sell in this instance is because we are oversold on our higher time frames on our RSI, and also because this has been, look at these wicks. Look at these wicks. We've had, a couple different times where the buyers were unable to break price, above this level here, 58.31. We see that there is a lot going on at this price range, 58.31. We can look at the orders here and see that, there was a lot going on at that price range. So in addition to our candlestick movements, we want to see price break below this level, below this low, to get in for that sell. I'm going to go in again for I don't want to get wicked in. This isn't a good time frame. I do not like trading the New York Open. We're just going over process, right? Process. So we would wait. Oh, let me get out of that. Alrighty, so we would wait for price to reach below this level, and then we're definitely would be in for that sell. If it breaks above, our trade is no longer
order
valid.
Filled.
Okay, so our order was filled. We'll be taking this down to 58.22. So let's drag our trade down to 58.22, maybe just a little bit above there. Again, our stop loss is above this wick because what were we doing? We had our fib from low to high. Let me keep this. Okay, so you guys can it kind of looks exactly like, kind of our fibs here with those colors. Alrighty, so we're taking it down here. Oh, oops. This was on the 5 minutes, sorry. From this low on the 5 minute, taking it down here to this 50 or this 61.8. We'll see if we still have selling momentum. All right. So let's go ahead and add on to our position. Right now, let it pull back a little bit, and then we can add so that we are
order filled.
Our trade. Now we're risking 150 points. We're in 5 contracts. We're waiting for price to come down here to 58.22 or 58.21. We're on the 30-second chart just because we're looking at, just price movement here. We didn't make our decisions. We did a whole, you guys see how we did that? We did a whole top-down analysis. We went to the higher time frames, looked at our support and resistance, marked that up, and we went down to looked at the trend. We put a fib on our chart because we saw that there was a little bit of resistance. We can even do, I love fibs. Even I would take a fib from this high to this low to see, okay, is price gonna pull back to 58.30 before pulling down, or are we gonna get that nice nice flush to the downside without any additional movement? So Looking at the 3-minute, looks like it's giving us some selling momentum as well. Just analyze our trades, analyze the market, have our risk set up, have our lot size set up. And we're just going to be going through our plan of just making, between $250 to $500 a day. And if you trade, just put in one little trade like this, as you guys can see, it's almost an hour and a half, but if you're just trading 2 hours or just trading an hour a day, don't think about those big numbers. Remember that you don't want to capital preservation. We definitely don't want to blow our accounts. We definitely don't want to be over leveraging, risking too much, going into, you see how we eased into our trade, added on to our position. We went in with one contract there. Once we saw the momentum, market giving us the momentum that we so desperately needed, we added on to our position. We're not risking any more than we need to. Our take profit is set at a decent level. If you want to try to gain some more pips, you'll just see what the market does. Remember, this was resistance here as well. Let's see if you guys can see it. So even though that this line right here is the 50% on this fib level, this was also, if you don't use fibs, no problem. This was also a support level. This was support here. They had a higher level of support at this price point. I want to mark it off just so that I know when we reach it, if the market kind of bounces back, why it's bouncing back. But we can also see that, there was this huge wick here, down here. So there was there were orders down here. So whatever you use, I use a couple different things because I do like that extra confirmation. Let's check on our order. Bookmap is showing us, look, there's some, okay, well, look at these little lines here. This is kind of our heat map. Let me explain it to you, how they explained it. So the liquidation heat map is the estimated price levels predicting where liquidation events may occur. So the heat map allows traders to identify areas of high liquidity, which may be useful in several different ways. Magnetic zones. So like same way how our pivotal zones are. We know that, we think that the market's going to come down here. It's high probability to this 50, to this, or this P0. S0, P8, those levels here, or they can be, which again, support and resistance, or a sweeps indicator. So I'm sorry, sweeps indicator is second. It's totally different. So that's how you can use that heat map there. And as we can see, it looks like those magnetic zones, this is our heat map here. Looks like it's coming down to these levels. What is our trade doing? Still, coming down lower and lower and lower. Now we can adjust our stop loss down to the next level. Looks like it's still pushing down a little bit lower. Let's go ahead and see if we want to, if our trade's going to come down here to this 61.8. This was also our 50 on our 5-minute. This was also, price just pushed through this support level as well. So let's just see what the market wants to do. And it helps us not to leave any money on the table as well. So how many times have we, set our take profits at certain levels, our 60 or, P's. I keep saying P. S0, S1, R8, and then the market just completely pushes through those levels. So now we have order book data. Okay. All righty, it's coming down. It's coming down. We can also move our stop into profit really easily as well by taking the position and just dragging it down. So now we see that if price comes back up above this 5-minute wick, we have secured our trades, and we will at least come out of this trade with $31. And you can take it and put it wherever you want. All right, we see price continuing to make lower lows. We have 5 minutes to the New York Open. We want to keep trailing our stop. We can. We have it here. It's just touched our first TP, which is our 50, and we know that sometimes the market can bounce back. So we secure our trades. At least we have $50 secured so that we cover our losses for the day. Alrighty, if you were in this trade in your demo, how are we managing this trade? Is your stop moved into profit? Have you adjusted your take profit level? Maybe to, I don't know where we would adjust our stop or take profit even lower. Let's take a look at the 1 minute, maybe see if it's coming down. Well, it looks like it's near here, near this S1. So I would just we don't want to be greedy. Of course we want our trades, but we have to make sure that we are taking profit in the levels that we need to, not holding on to wishes. So this P1 would have been awesome. We see that the market might just do a bounce here and we go into a buy. Let's go ahead and look like if you wanted to go into a buy, you can set your pending orders by left clicking directly on the chart, putting in a buy order. Once I see price come back above that level, I would definitely want to get into this buy. We're seeing that we're having some buying momentum on our RSI here. Again, this is the 30-second chart and we are in the New York Open. So very risky time frame. This is our take profit level. So if you feel very comfortable with your profits, definitely take them now. We are at our 50. Could also move our stop.
Order filled.
But we just got hit. So that's awesome. Now, once price comes back up above this level here, we get back into that buy because remember, we are in an overall buy trend. We were just waiting to see if we were going to pull back a little bit to this 50-61.8 until we continue with our buying momentum. So we'll see if we pull back here a little bit.
Order filled.
We are activated. Just one contract. Remember, just want to make sure. I don't want to risk too much. If price goes below this wick, then I want to be out. Because again, New York Open is happening in a couple minutes, 2 minutes. Really don't want to be in the market at all during this time. So I want to be very safe while I am doing that. Remember, higher time frames are going to be your friend. Look at this 15-minute candle. It's taken out the previous 3 15-minute candles. So we definitely take that with a grain of salt. 46 minutes. Look like we're oversold here. But remember what I said about the New York overbought here, excuse me. Remember what I said about the New York Open, that let's see if we can look at it like this. Hello. Oh gosh. Never mind. how come I can do it like this? All right, so we see our trade is going in our favor. We are in this buy. When it looks like it's hit this level here, and the buyers are struggling to take over. We're only risking $13. Really don't want to add on to this trade just yet. I want to do this. Okay, let's try this thing one more time. Whatever. I want to side by side. Alrighty, it won't let me do it. Oh. Here we go. Sheesh. Okay. So let's look at the orders. Now this is going to be a little bit blurry. Of course, New York Open just happened. Ding, ding, ding. See if it would we now you guys, would you guys be moving your stop into profit a little bit here? As we can see, we're all the way up here at this price point. Would you guys be moving your stop into profit for this buy, or are you letting it rock? Maureen closed her position as she was in with a mini. Ooh, yeah, that mini action. That was a couple $100. Good job, Maureen. I love to hear that. It is very challenging working with micros, I can say for myself anyways. But we have to remember it's not a rush. Capital preservation. I want to make sure that I'm not risking too much, and I keep this live account and keep my, past those combines if ever, adding to those things. Oh, am I not sharing my screen? Sorry, guys. Oh, I see what happened. I was only sharing a screen instead of sharing my window, so it shut me out. Sorry about that. All right. How are we managing this trade? Looks like it pulled back a little bit from this 50. You guys know that if you're in a buy, when we are looking at these fib levels, it's so that we know exactly where we want to get back in the market for our buy for, whenever it pulls back here. So it can hit this 50, 61.8 level. Probably just risk 20 because sometimes it could just touch that. And then we want to be entering the market for a buy here in this level. So what did it do? It reached this level and it went into our favor for that buy. How many points? 8 points. But now
order filled.
This huge candle. So, and that's why, especially when trading on the New York Open, I'm never going to go in there with, whatever full position sizing. So remember how we went in with 5, remember how earlier we went in with 5 micros with that position, but since I knew we were on the, trading or having a position open during the New York Open, pulled it right on back down to 1 micro, so that, in this type of price action, I'm only out $15. So we are still up $82 just with 1 real trade. Of course, if we weren't playing around earlier and just closing up those trades, let's take a look here. That would have we would have actually been up $115 plus $135. So, all righty, we've been here for an hour and a half. I usually just like to keep y'all sessions just an hour, but now you guys know exactly. We had a nice little trade here. We see it's bouncing off and rejecting from these 50, 61, 8 levels. So we'll look at our higher time frames. Make sure we get out of this. If we're just playing this range back and forth, now we have a new level of resistance. Remember, we are in an overall kind of buy trend here, even though we do have this sideways movement. So either you're waiting for a break to the upside, a break to the downside, or you're just catching 10, 15 points in these little movements here on smaller time frames. That was 13 points. We would have caught, this trade here on the 15-minute, that's 18 points. Now, once it pushed down and it got to this level here, that was 10 points. So in situations like these, unless if you are patient to wait, make an alert here at the upper, this upper side of this of resistance, make an alert here, set an alert, for the support, so that if price breaks through or if it reaches there, maybe you might be able to get into a buy at a really good area, or a sell at a really good area, or you catch the break. So set your alerts, you guys. I will see you again next Wednesday. Look out for some tutorial videos this weekend. And let me know, you guys, go get back into the Telegram group. Let me know how, now that we've actually set some trades in live time here in the futures market, how you guys feel about it. I'm not going to be mad if, some people want to stay with Forex, but I'm going to make sure that wherever I go, I'm dragging you guys along so that we can all have fun together. And you can trade both. If you're trading Forex and you still have your Forex account, why limit yourself? There are people that trade this, they trade options. We definitely don't want to be all over, but if you can manage it, if you have the bandwidth, you don't have to do either or. So we can always have, and remember that in our vocabulary, sometimes we don't have to make choices. We can have it all. As long as you're able to do it and you're able to do it well, and you have your clear strategy, you have your clear risk parameters. Right now, this is Topstep. This is Topstep, Cornelia. This is a practice account with Topstep. We went over last week, looked at my live account, looked into how we can set up those parameters and do all that stuff. But for our live sessions on YouTube, so we're just going to be in our practice accounts. Of course, it's live data. So as you guys can see, Maureen, she was in with the mini. She closed hers out. If you do take these trades in your live account, it's not like there's different data there. Sometimes you guys, we have these funded accounts and the pricing's so different, the spread is so different, but I haven't seen, of course, spread is spread, but I haven't seen like those major moves like in Forex with the spread, and it's different on this account, different on that account. So, all righty, guys, have a great day. You guys know what to do. We see every time I want to go, the market just it does something crazy. But you guys get the gist of it, and I will see you next weekend. You are very welcome. Have a great day. Happy trading, guys.